Imagine your DNA is like a massive library, right? This library holds all the instructions for building you. These instructions are in sections called genes. Each gene has a job, like deciding your eye color or how curly your hair is. Now, a genotype is like a photo of one section of that library. It tells us what versions of the genes you have. Think of baking a lamington. The recipe is like your genotype. It decides what the finished lamington will be like. That's your phenotype, the stuff you can actually see. Your genotype affects everything from how tall you are to whether you're likely to get certain illnesses. It's the hidden code that makes you, you. Understanding genotypes is super important in genetics. It helps us understand how traits are passed down through families. By looking at genotypes, we can learn about how illnesses are inherited. We can even guess how likely kids are to inherit certain traits. Genotypes are the key to understanding how we inherit stuff. Genes can have different versions, like different versions of your favorite footy team's jersey. These versions are called alleles. Each allele has slightly different instructions. This can lead to different traits. For example, one allele might be for brown eyes, and another might be for blue eyes. Alleles can be dominant or recessive. Dominant alleles are like the captain of the team. They call the shots, even if there's only one of them. We use capital letters for dominant alleles, like capital B for brown eyes. Recessive alleles are a bit more shy. They only get a say if there are two of them. We use lowercase letters for recessive alleles, like lowercase b for blue eyes. This mix of dominant and recessive alleles makes everyone look different. In the world of genes, wild-type alleles are like Vegemite. Everyone's got some. They're the most common versions of a gene. Think of them as the standard version. We often use a plus sign, plus for them, like A+. Mutant alleles are a bit different. They're like getting Vegemite with avocado. Not the usual, but still pretty good. These differences can be tiny, like changing one letter in the genetic code. Mutant might sound scary, but these changes are what make things interesting. They're why we have so many different traits. For example, fruit flies usually have red eyes, but a mutation can give them white eyes. Mutant alleles can do all sorts of things. Some don't change much, but others can cause genetic disorders. Understanding wild-type and mutant alleles is important for understanding genetic differences and illnesses. Homozygous and heterozygous, pairs of possibilities. Remember, you get 2 copies of each gene, one from your mum and one from your dad. These copies can be the same or different. That's where homozygous and heterozygous come in. Homozygous means having 2 identical alleles for a gene. If both alleles are dominant, it's homozygous dominant, like both capital BB for brown eyes. If both are recessive, it's homozygous recessive, like both lowercase bb for blue eyes. Heterozygous means having 2 different alleles for a gene, like one capital B and one lowercase b for eye color. In this case, the dominant allele, B for brown eyes, takes charge, and the recessive allele, B for blue eyes, hides in the background. Beyond the basics, a glimpse into complex inheritance. Genetics is a massive and fascinating world. We've covered the basics of genotype symbols, but there's heaps more to learn. Some genes have more than 2 alleles, making things even more interesting. This is called multiple allelism. Sometimes, both alleles in a heterozygous genotype have an equal say. This is called codominance. Think of the ABO blood group system. That's a classic example. Other times, the heterozygous phenotype is a mix of the 2 homozygous phenotypes. This is called incomplete dominance. Understanding these complex inheritance patterns helps us see just how complicated genetics really is. It shows us the intricate dance of genes that creates all the amazing diversity of life. Genotype symbols are like the language of heredity. They're a shorthand way to show what someone's genes are like. By understanding these symbols, we can explore the amazing world of genetics and figure out how inheritance works. From simple traits to complex diseases, genotype symbols are a powerful tool for understanding the blueprints of life. Cheers!
Want to rise to your full potential in your studies and revise like a boss? You can trust Study Guide today to have you covered. Subscribe to this channel and see our website linked in the description of this video to see revision articles to maximize your study gains.